Hello, everyone. Hello. Yeah, I think the audio was trying to play up a bit, but everything is now sorted. I'm back and ready. How you guys at home? My carers, my coordinators, my managers, how you all doing? I remain Mofio Joe. You are welcome to my channel once more. What do I have for you today? Not really. I'm still on my program, the one that I did last week, the same topic that I did last week. That is social worker work or care workers, United Kingdom, that you should be aware of all these hoodlums that just want to spin you. Last week, when I did what I did, there are a few people that said, okay, they asked more questions. After I've already finished, a lot of people go back to me asking a few questions. And then they even sent me some few videos that a lot of people did. And then telling you guys that the green is at the other side, the grass is greener at the other side there, that okay, it's more or less like open door policy for anybody who want to do a care job. Yeah, people will say that. 99% of people in this world, or almost every one of us, will live to make money. We live to be successful in whatever we are doing. So how that success comes to be, people don't really care. That is where I want to step in, just to let you guys know that you have to be careful, because it's not what they said. Where did I stop last week? I stopped when I warned you guys that there is nothing like open door policy for care worker. Not even people from where I come from. I believe you know what I mean. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny. Yeah, people are making lots of money. People are making lots of money. So today what I want to do is also the first part of this program to talk about that, and the second part of the program to talk about my normal thing, why I actually start this program, that is bits and pieces about domiciliary care work, how people should be careful, what they should do, what they should not do. That's the main purpose of my channel, nothing more, not about telling you I'm not an agent. I'll be ready to bring a lot of people back to the United Kingdom, because I know that Nigeria is a bit hot for most people now. We just pray that one day everything will come to normal. I don't know that day, but they've been saying every day since I was. Yeah, and then when Nigeria was very, very good. So if anything happens to Nigeria now, I believe it is me or you that can do something to help that country. So let's leave that one aside. Let's talk about all these hoodlums, all these thieves, all these people who say they can do whatever to bring you down to the United Kingdom. I'm telling you straight. I'm not saying the program is not, the program is there. But I'm telling you, more than 99% of providers, they've not even got the license. And you guys have spent loads of money back home. Last time, between that time that I spoke to you, somebody said they've spent 650,000 naira. That is almost 900 and something pound. Add another 900 and something pound to that one. I bet you can even process your student visa. Some schools will collect that money from you for the first installment. And when you get to the system, you can then, there are a lot of schools that will take about 6,000 pounds, 7,000 pounds for a program. Check around, look around. There are a lot of schools that will collect that amount of money. So if they now split that money to you, you will realize that you will only be paying about 2,000 plus, and then you will leave that place to come back. You can then do whatever you want to do here. A carer, while you're going to school, because most of the people who are even coming as a student, they only go to school maybe twice in a week. So I don't see why you cannot do the same. Instead of you to spend 650,000 naira, even depends how much you change your money. That might be about 1,000 pounds. It depends. If you go to direct market, that's what they call them, that would be about 1,000 plus. So spending that amount of money on something that is not realistic, I don't think it's right. People just want to make money. I'm very sorry, I've not been in this field for eternity. I've been in this field for the last 8-10 years. And I don't think being in the field for 8-10 years is something that you can just brush over. And I have more than enough experience about what this field is all about, what it entails, I will tell you. I've listened to many videos there, many people sugarcoated a lot of things, how they can go through everything. They are just making you guys. I'm not saying they shouldn't do their job. Last week when somebody was talking about training, and I mentioned something about training, that even if it is about training, that's still all right. But somebody told me 260,000 naira for a 2-day training. What are they going to teach you in 2 days? 15 units, what's the name? Care certificate. That's what you're gonna do for 2 days. That's not possible. That's not possible. Imagine you even send your application to Nigerian British Embassy in Nigeria, and they ask you to come down to come and defend that certificate. I will be able to even defend that. Instead of you to do that, there are lots of online this and that. When you continue to do this and continue to read it, it's far better than that 2 days training they organize for you. Yeah, when you look at that 260,000 naira in United Kingdom, that is probably about how much? Maybe about 200 something, which is still within the range. But 2 days training for a 15 unit mandatory course. That is not really mandatory, that is care certificate, which is more or less like a step before MVQ2. And then you will do your mandatory. All these courses, you can do it online for a fraction, for around less than 25,000 naira Nigerian money. It is because I don't know whether it is accepted. As I said, I will be loading some of the material that you can use. I wanted to load it this week, but I was a bit busy. That was why I was unable to do it. I could even open up, if you check some of my channel, I think I've done medication on my channel. Even if you listen to the way you want me to go over it, I will go over it again. I've done moving and handling. So you can check all those things. They're there, they're free. Nobody will accept that certificate. I don't know what it's just about your knowledge. Because there must be possibility, maybe they will say that, okay, you should appear. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. Whether they just drop us they will use, I don't know. Non-appearance, that's what they're gonna use, I don't know. But if the embassy now realize that, okay, people need to appear, how will you be able to defend it? But I know that some of the provider will not be stupid enough, though there will be some bad provider that would just be using the certificate to make money. I don't give a damn about them. That's their own problem. But imagine somebody who gave you that kind of problem, collected that amount of money to bring you in. Now tell me, when you get into the system, how that kind of a person will not abuse you, how they will not mess up with your life. Because before you can leave them, though you can do other jobs, but you cannot leave that job for the next 5 years. You will be at mercy of that particular person. So I want you guys to really be careful on what you do. I'm not saying you should do, yeah, when something is tough, you do whatever, you take a risk. But it's not yours truly kind of a thing. It's not an open door policy, visa thing. No, it is not. It is, there's a process. There's a process that the provider will need to go through. They will need to submit some documentation before it is granted. It is then they can now say that, okay, we're bringing people in. And I bet you, as I said last week, I don't see them giving the whole of Africa more than 5,000. We shall see, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. The focus will be mostly on people from European countries. Okay, they've stopped them. European colleagues and Filipinos, even if you go into within the NHS setup, larger percentage of people that you see are the Filipinos. There you see this black hair here and the other stuff. Yeah, you see them there. I'm not saying there is discrimination, but there is a systemic discrimination in the system. Whether you like it or not, believe it or not, it's even worse than even you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. But it's very, very systemic. It's built into the system, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying you guys shouldn't take risk, but don't be desperate. There are lots of means. If you want to, now it's just like open door policy for the student now. I'm very sorry, I'm not saying government should go and close that one. It's just like open door policy, because it's generating lots of funds for all these investors. And once you are in the system, you can as well be strong enough to just be doing while you are in school. If you are the serious-minded one, to be doing your MVQ 3, MVQ 4, 5, and before you realize, by the time you finish this, and this one can be done, those one can be, because it's more or less of assessment kind of courses. You do your assessment and you submit it. Yeah, you pay the price by putting a lot into it, into your study here and there. Okay, you're doing your courses and then you do that one beside it. By the time you realize it, you will not even be looking for being a carer, you'll be looking for being manager. And there's a shortage of them, especially in domiciliary care setup, because it's a very tough kind of a job. As I always said, you've got to be responsible for a lot of things. You've got to be responsible for yourself, for people under you within the office, and the people you are working with outside. You're as good as those carers that you sent outside. If they do anything, carer can pick them up. No, it's very tough. I always tell them, you don't just go at the days when carer can just do something and run away. You will surely be tracked. There is DBS in place, all those checks in place. So, nowhere to run to. That is my initial plan about this program. Just to guide people that, okay, because of, you want to, I don't know, you want to, because of £9 per hour, £10 per hour, £12 per hour, you're costing yourself £1 million, something that you cannot even repair forever. Yeah. That's why I always said to one of my carers, most of my carers, if you wake up in your house and you decide to go to work, just put in your best. Just put in your best. It doesn't worth it for you to leave your home and then causes issue there. You rather go back to bed and sleep, because you will blame yourself for waking up that particular day. Why did I even wake up at all? Why did I just continue sleeping? Sometimes when you continue to tell people all these issues, they just think that, what's he talking about? He's talking crap. I bet you, when the problem comes in, when they ask you for your name, you'll be telling them your surname. You'll be telling them wrong name, possibly maybe your brother's name or your sister's name. Because when the pressure comes in. So don't just put your money where you do not trust. There are lots of, take a step back. Take a step back. Let's see how everything goes. I know that, okay, people just want to quickly do it because they don't know when the program will stop. Government have already said it. They need 50,000 in the next 2 years. 30,000 this year, 20,000 next year. And I know that 20,000 next year is just to balance the discrepancies that will be in between the races. Majorly, it's about this year. Let's see what happens. So whether we have lots of this and then if this particular ethnic group cry, we will give them another 2,000 or 1,000. If that one cry and then they balance it up. But it will still affect us most. Even you that you are in this job, you go to a client sometimes and they tell you, okay, please send somebody that look like me to me. It's happening. Yeah, London is better because it's more or less like a cosmopolitan city. Who is who? Even pure original Londoners who are born bred, are not even London anymore. But it's still happening. But when you go to the suburbs, and I bet you the main job is the suburbs of London, not in London. the main job in this social work care is not in London. It's none of your, I don't want to go into that because that is not why we are here. But if you want to go into this business, maybe you are still home, you still want to go into this business, just go out of London. You will make money, you get tired. You work, you get tired. There are some areas that they're struggling to even see 1/8 of the care provider that they needed. So that is that. Make sure you don't pay stupid money. Yeah, for the training, just trying to explore. Go online, go and do some research on your own. You might, instead of you to be doing researches about a provider that is employing, most of them will tell you yes. Some of them that are very, very straightforward, they will tell you what is behind it. But some of them are cunning. Because they want to show their stuff. You can't call a white man's or white person's company and then they will just turn you down immediately. But who else are the ones that will continue to deceive you? Immediately that thing happened, they have sisters, they have brothers who are in Nigeria and who have already opened shops to become an agent immediately. I don't know what people want just because of money. I don't know. I don't know how we spend that kind of money. I don't know. When I know that I'm looking straight into somebody's eyes and I'm lying. I don't know, but people don't care about that. People don't care about who I am, whether you lie, whether it's about their pocket. I wish them all the best. But you guys open your eye very well. Do your own research. All those training you are paying 260,000 naira for, go online, go and check. That certificate means nothing. It means nothing. If you still get employed, you will still what we call induction training. That is the mandatory courses. Whether you like, wherever you go. Even if you move from one company to another company, you still do it. You still do it. So go online and check all those stuff. There are Care Skill Academy. There are, what's the other one? Go there, you will pay peanuts. £2, £3 for one course. You stay there, you do it. It's about the certificate. You learn within that time. Because even if you go to, with just 2 days training that you are giving, I bet you can't defend anything when it matters most. By the time I do you the next 2-3 minutes, you will just be saying, you will be giving me something about dementia when you are talking about the medication. I bet you. 2 days training is not training. Even people that I did one training for how many days? I think it was about maybe 11 or 12 days. But still, you still need to go and read about it. Now imagine you submitted that kind of certificate and you go to and they decide asking you a question. It is not somebody that don't know about the job. Even somebody that don't know about the job, by the time they ask you 1, 2, 3 questions and they wanted to hear a particular language or a particular word and you are not giving them, you're as good as being failed. Because you don't need to explain certain things. You just need to use certain word for me to know that, okay, you know about what you're talking about. So most of those training, they are as good as being just go online, go and explore what is going on online, and then do your training. Care Skill Academy is very, very good, extremely good. It's very, very detailed. And I think one training is about £2 something. Or £3 something. And this is how much? £2, £3. That is about not even up to £3,000. 3,000 naira, around 3,000 to 4,000 naira. Go there. Somebody can, you guys too can make money through, what's the name? If you know, I don't want to go to that, don't let me tell you that. So don't let people fool you. Don't fool yourself. Because at the end of the day, it is not them that are fooling you. It is you that you are fooling yourself. So don't fool yourself. Open your eye. People are making money. People want to, you can imagine somebody saying that, okay, I told you last week, somebody calling us to say, okay, I have over 800 people, 800 staffs, 800 applicants that want to register for this kind of a thing. 800, you are not a provider, you do not have a company. You have 800 already. Do you think 800 will just be coming to put their name down? That is about 50,000 naira by 800. Straightforward. Cool money. No others. It's not their fault. But I know it's not your own fault too. I know how tough it is back home. People want to get out of that place, but still, open your eye very well. Don't pay one stupid money. Don't pay stupid money to anybody. Don't pay stupid money to it. It's whenever I hear people doing that kind of a thing, or I felt so bad that people are being manipulating people. Immediately people hear, but I saw a lot of flyers online. The one that I showed you last week. British government entice Nigerian carer. Where are the Nigerian carer? Who British government enticing you? Who knows that Nigerian carer? They don't even look towards Nigeria and being a carer. Yeah, being a nurse, yes. But being a carer, they don't even think about that. They will know where they go to. Normally, Portugal, what's the name? As I said, the Filipinos, what's the other European country? The Romanians. Those are the people, that are places they normally go to bring people down, to come and look after their elderly ones. So, and as I said, the trend in social care have changed. Gone are the days when you go into a home, you will realize maybe between 10, 20 white, you only see one black. But because they've left, most people that you see in there, a lot of them that work in domiciliary care, they are not going to home to work in a home. That you see a lot of blacks within the home setup. And domiciliary care setup are now struggling, massively struggling to meet up. So you coming down to be part of that kind of a thing is, and it's not as people always, I listen to a lady and I even tackle her by saying that it's more or less like, what kind of a job? She said is the job. How she put it? House girl kind of a thing. And I said, really? Care job? Gone are the days when you care job is kind of a thing. Now care job is something that you more or less like you are a medical field. Because every medication you are going to administer, you must know everything about that medication. The law that guides that medication, what that medication does, how they produce that, medication, what you need to do whenever you see the side effect of that medication, everything. It's just like a nurse who walk in and then assess a client from far and realize that, okay, something is happening. I knew most of my care that whenever they seek any sign within their client, they tell you, it must be this particular medication. And then they call the GP, I think this medication needs to be reviewed, and they will review it. I've seen loads. So they are very loaded. And a lot of regulation you need to know. I could remember when we have issue with secrecy one time, and they were saying that it is the responsibility of a carer to know Section 42. That even the police officer that's supposed to know doesn't know anything about Section 42. And you expect a carer to know that, and that is what they're supposed to know. And somebody is saying that that job is for a house care kind of a, I'm very sorry. Maybe that was care of, not even 10 years ago. Not even 10 years ago. Maybe that was care about 20, 30 years ago. But the care we're talking about now, right now, is the care that you've got to know your stuff. You've got to be able to defend your job. I've had some care that will go to clients and they will put their foot on the ground. This is how it should be. I've seen a service user, family of the service user that called me to say that your carer knows too much. I don't want that kind of a carer. I want the carer that can tell what to do. I know. What if you tell your mother that, okay, they say your mother should do, okay, like somebody that is, what they call it, covert medication. When they say covert medication that they put in the food, it wasn't approved by the doctor, and the family was engaged in that kind of an action. And one of my carers just put his foot on the ground. No, it shouldn't be. Yeah. I went in there and I said, no, it shouldn't be. This is how it should be. What if that medication reacts wrongly to the food that is being mixed with? And then you give that kind of a thing to your family member, and it will be the same the care that will give the medication, and then there will be a problem. And then by the time they do their research, they will definitely know what happened. Because not all medication you can mix with food. You mix it with food, certain reaction will happen. So what happened to that one? And I was telling him all this stuff. Before we even got got him to agree with me, it took me a long period of time. I had to come with lots of instances. Yeah, so you've got to know all those things. So it's not just when people talk about care job. Those are gone are the days when care job is like that. You've got to be, when a nurse is saying A, you too should be saying B beside them. You know what you are doing. You know what you are doing. I've seen a carer that walks into a client's house and he realized that, wow, I think this is a sign of pneumonia. And immediately called the ambulance. And by the time the paramedics came, and they just said that if the man had spent extra 30 minutes, that would have been his end. And the reward for that guy is for the man to say that the guy should be added to his will. So it's a very rewarding job, and it's a professional job, and you need to do it in a professional way. Sometimes you look at it like just, okay, you just go in there to wipe the bum. That is why the government even thought, what are they doing? Are they not wiping the bum? That is why they categorize it to be low skill. I bet you none of them will pass it. None of them in the House of Parliament will know what to do, except those people who are looking after their parents. Know that it's not just to wipe the ball. They're doing a great job. You know your regulations. If you are dealing with medication, you know the kind of medications. If you are doing the transfers using the hoist, you know how to move somebody. You don't just pull this sling on and then attach it to the hoist and then move the person. No, you don't just do that. So which one should come up? Which one should you use? What kind of slings you use at a particular time? Or for a particular activity. You've got to know those things. You don't just, so now imagine, is that the kind of job somebody said, okay, you just walk in and do sort of crap jobs and then get away? No. You've got to do your job very well. You've got to do your job very well. So for you, my carers out there, please, because one of the problems of this field is people will always after the money. And what I always say to people is that the money will come. You just need to do your own stuff. And by knowing your job. And how do you know your job? By not doing your training. Some of you only do your training to pass. Once I pass. It is not about passing the training. Because whatever you taught in that training, or whatever you learn from the training, you're still going to transfer it to this field. That is when they know that you know your job. It is not what the 80, the 700, because the minimum is 80. Not that is score. If you go out there messed up, you can mess up your life. I bet you about that. You can mess up your life. I bet you. I knew a lady recently, just about a month ago, less than a month ago, about 3 weeks ago, that there is no way we ever work with children on an adult or anything in social care or even in health industry. And mind you, I don't see that person ever working in any organization that a DBS will be raised. Can I tell you what she did? A client slapped her and she slapped her back and she was caught. She was caught, but it cannot be substantiated because it's just only one eyewitness, which police cannot prosecute her for. So somebody might be lying. She might not be the one that is lying. It might be the other one. So she wasn't prosecuted for that. But she was reported that she should never work within social care anymore. So tell me where she will work. So far the DBS is needed. Tell me any place that she will ever work again. Even cleaning job now, they do DBS. Imagine they run your DBS and they said, okay, she can do training, but this is what is on her DBS, and then your employer read that thing. No employer will employ you. You can say that, okay, it's care job. If I don't do care job, I will do other jobs. Yeah, if it is your personal job. And what you don't know is that that thing is on your home office, what's the name? Record. Straight away because of what? £9.75 per hour job. Do you know what you're gonna become? You're gonna wanna see in life. At the beginning, you might be thinking, okay, that's the end of life. It is when that thing started coming back to hurt you or to haunt you, then it is then you realize that, wait a minute, this is not a joke. And it's not going to be a joke. Yeah, at the beginning, you can just show that toughness. But with that particular name, forget about it. And they said the earliest they will review the decision will be 2035. If you are 50 years old or 52 years old and they added 15 years to say 13 years to your age, that is about you are 60 something years old when the whole thing will be reviewed. Almost 70. So let's always think before we do things. Whatever we're doing, even not in social work care, wherever you find yourself, it's just that this job, people always overlook it, what is it? But I always tell people, this is green land and this is prison. It's two-way thing. You take the one that you like. You might continue to be doing wrong thing, or you might see somebody doing wrong thing and nothing happens to them. You might do it once, just once, and you never come out of it. So that's why I always tell people, please do the right thing. Please do the right thing. Don't do things for the sake of doing it. Don't do things for the sake of doing it. Make sure that when you're going out of your house, you're going to work to do something that is very good. To do a good job. Let client come back. Let them pick their phone up to say that that's the kind of care that I want. The day that you find out that, okay, you're struggling or you are not happy, please go back home and sleep. Don't go to work. Because there is tendency you start to take it out on either your colleague or the client you're looking after. There is no two-way into it. When you are not happy at all, you can never be happy at work. You can never be happy. The day you realize that you're having a bad day, just take a step back. Take a step back. I've seen this thing directly. I know how it works. When the problem comes in, I know how it works. You might be having it when nothing, no problem. I will say this, I will say this, I will. When it happens, I'm not talking about Nigeria. They will not touch you here. They will question you, and you will be saying the truth that you never even, what is not in your head, you'll be saying the truth ahead of the time. Ahead of the time. Because one, they know how to write reports. By the time they write report against you, you'll be a mess. You read the report and then you'll be saying that, am I in this? And you are. You are. Just be careful. It doesn't worth it. Your life is far, far more important than that few quid that you want to skip through. How much is money? There's some of you that I've seen somebody who came, she happened to be a nurse in Nigeria, but she came in, I think as a student, going to school and then trying to earn some money and was working as a carer. She's supposed to go to her client 4 times, 4 calls per day. She went for morning call, lunch call, and when she went for tea call, she has already written something about bed call. So she didn't go for bed call. And unfortunately for him, service user's son came to see his mom, and he realized that even. She was there by, it was there by 6 something. The lady have gone there by 4 o'clock for the tea call. And then he went there, she went there. He arrived around maybe 6 something, and the lady have already written 8 o'clock in the evening, when it was even only 8 o'clock. The guy didn't call at that particular point in time, because if he called, our company might know, so he didn't call. He was there with his mom, attending to his mom, and then left there around 10 o'clock in the evening. He was recording everything on the camera. Immediately you realize that he put the camera up, recorded where the lady put her name down, recorded the whole thing, when he was there, when he was leaving. I'm leaving now, this is 10 something. The lady didn't turn up, all those stuff. And then the following day he called. And this lady was even still lying. Until the guy said, if he lies, she lies one more time, police will know about it. And then she started speaking in tongue. So what does he, because of about 30 minutes job, that is about, if you've been paid £11, that is £5.50. Because of £5.50, you want to go and do 5.5 years in prison. But that is neglect. And it's a culpability, what's the name, offense. That is 5.5 yours truly for £5.50. And by the time even they even remove tax here and there, national insurance, maybe that is about £3 or even £2 something. And because of that, he wanted to go and double it in prison. Because anything could have happened to that woman. Anybody could have come in. Anything could have, maybe the woman even had a fall. They expect somebody to be there, and then the woman could be on the floor. Do you think when somebody is on the floor and the floor is cold the following day, what could have happened to that woman? She could even die. So all these people, they do not know the meaning of it. They just think that repercussion is about, if I don't come, is it not just about one night? But they never think about what could have happened. The woman could have a fall, you could have a seizure that hopefully if you are around, something could have been done, all those stuff. Those are the things. So it shows that that is attempted murder, or what they call it. So you get into that stage from neglect. We had another thing, especially when that person had a fall. We had an issue one time when a client had a fall. And it was that client that actually moved herself. And in doing so, she broke her, what's name? Her hip. And then they took her back to the hospital and she died through that. And then they later now put that thing, if not for the camera that was there to record the movement, that she was the one that trying to lift herself up. And in doing so, she actually aggravated her injury. It will be another issue. So the camera actually showed everything. But at the beginning, they said, okay, we're supposed to be there, we're culpable with this. At the end of the day, when they put all the evidence together, they realized that, wow, the carer was, okay, they were not there on time. At least they were there. And it was that woman that was even trying to move. It was even the carer that even called ambulance that they did that. So that was why, okay, they see that side. So my colleague out there, I want you to be as good as possible. Just do the training. Most of you don't want to do the training. I don't know the reason why. So far you do the training once, that's all. No refresher. Can you tell me what you learned today is what you're gonna happen? This field is more or less a very dynamic field. Everything changes every day. This is the kind of field that if anything happens to somebody in Scotland, they use that in order for that thing not to happen tomorrow. They create a regulation will come out of that incident. And you've got to know about that regulations for you to work better. There are a lot of things that you'll be telling people now, is that so? But forget about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even forget about 6 months ago. Things changes in this field, things change. That is why you need to update yourself. You need to learn every day. And when people are telling you something, please just open your ear, listen. Some people are saying, okay, no, somebody was telling me just last week, I was the one on the field. Forget about you are the one on the field. What do you know on the field? What do you know on the field? Can I push you to the wall? Can I drill you? Will you be able to defend yourself even being on the field? Can I tell you where you do 90% of what you're doing on the field, you're doing it absolutely wrong. So you need to listen. People are there to support every one of us. Everything is stages. People always think that people who work in the office are not doing, they are doing a lot of jobs. So everybody needs to work together to make things work. But what of documentation and code? Documentation takes about 90% of this job. You can do whatever you said you want to do. If documentation is not there, it's as good as zero. This job is evidence-based job. So I only have a minute left. I'll be back next week, probably with those trainings or another topic. I'm done with, for now I'm done with those people who is trying to bring people down from Nigeria, the care workers job. I'm done with them. I don't want to talk about them anymore. But you guys, you just open your head. Don't just pay one stupid money. Go online and check for all this training. You will see some of the training there. And then explore, go online and check some of the company. Call them. You've had this experience, you have this experience. Some of them will call you. Some of them will not call you. Because it's not that the certificate or to bring people in, they just throw it out. No, a lot of them, as I said, 99% of them are still in process of getting the certificate. So I will stop here, and until next week again that we'll meet, you guys just focus on your job and don't do what I will not do. You know what I will not do? I will not do a crap job. Have a lovely evening. Bye.